LeBron and the Lakers bounced back from their 44-point blowout loss with a huge win over the Pistons last night, 133-107. S.A., what'd you make of the win?
Not a damn thing.
All right.
The Detroit Pistons have lost 15 straight. It is an atrocity in the Motor City. I love me some Monty Williams. I know this man can coach. We saw what he did in taking Phoenix to the finals, but this is a bad situation. You know, Troy Weaver and the crew, on Tellum and all of these guys, mad respect and love, wishing them nothing but the best. But 15 straight losses, you don't expect that. This is an atrocity that is happening right now, and I hope and pray that it gets turned around because they got a lot of good brothers in that organization that I inherently root for. But this is bad. So it doesn't mean anything to me, Perk, that the Lakers beat the Pistons because the Pistons ain't much to beat right now.
All right. Perk?
Go ahead, Perk.
No, I'm with you. And here's another thing. You know, you look at the Orlando Magic for a second and think about this. The Orlando Magic is a young team. The Pistons are a young team with full of talent. You pay Monty Williams a bankroll to come over there. And now when I watched that game last night, I see a lack of energy. I see a lack of commitment. And that goes on Monty Williams. He got to find a way to get this team rolling and have these young guys buy into his system and buy into actual culture and winning. It's unacceptable.
On the other side of things, how about Nikola Jokic recording his third career game with 30 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, 60% shooting, passing Wilt Chamberlain and Magic Johnson for the most such games in NBA history in a 134-124 win over the Rockets. Perk, how impressive is Jokic?
Whoo, Molly. I mean, he must got his fresh set of shoes on because he's been standing on business. And look, I will say this, for us unstoppable, for us best player in the league, that is Jokic. Making guys around him better, putting up his numbers as well, leading the league and rebounding right now. He is doing it at all facets, all phases, and is handling his business, standing on business.
He's the best in the game, plain and simple. There's no doubt about it. And the Denver Nuggets are the reigning defending champions, and they're quietly, methodically going about the business of reminding everybody who the hell they are. They're not worried about much. They're playing for championships at this stage and point because they know they got the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. So we got to give props where it's due. Right now, as this season progresses, they're number 2 seed in the Western Conference behind the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I do want to take a moment to give love to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are 8-8. This is a young team as well. Ime Udoka is reminding everybody of that rookie coach that went to Boston and did in his first year as a head coach what the great Brad Stevens, because I got a lot of respect for Brad Stevens, what Brad Stevens couldn't do in 7 or 8 years in Boston. And that's take them to the finals his first year. Ime Udoka, excuse my language, can coach his ass off. It is just that simple. And I'm watching Houston, and I'm seeing them on the come up. And the difference is him, his coaching.
There, did Harden remind folks who he is, James Harden?
Hell no. And T. Lue knows better. And look, I love T. Lue. I think he's one of the best coaches in the game, if not the best coach in the game. But Molly, Stephen A., we can't applaud a fish for swimming. First of all, let me say this. Do you know it's 38 players in the league right now that's averaging 20 a game? It's 16 of them averaging 25, and I believe it's 6 players that's averaging 30. In today's game, it is not hard to go out there and put up numbers, okay, on any given night. And when I think about James Harden, no one is dismissing the fact that he could put up a 26 or have 26 in a regular season game. And on top of that, they were supposed to handle business. That's why I said applauding the fish for swimming. I'm not going to do that. The Sacramento Kings were coming off a back-to-back where they had to go fight for their lives for a brawl for it all when it came down to the Golden State Warriors, coming back being down double figures. That drained a lot of energy. The Clippers were fresh. They were supposed to handle their business. I'm glad James Harden decided to show up. But at the end of the day, no one is ever going to sit up here and judge James Harden on the regular season. It's always what he does in the postseason. And the fact of the matter is, I don't trust James Harden, and I don't think the rest of the league trusts James Harden. So reminding us of who the hell he is, I'm not going for that.
I really, really, really wish I could disagree with you, but I don't disagree with a single word that you just said. And by the way, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I carve out a show. And that show is going to be one-liners. That's the title of the show. And it's going to be between you and Shannon Sharp. Because let me tell y'all something right now. Ain't nobody going to beat y'all with the one-liners. Ain't nobody going to beat y'all with the one-liners, okay? Can't applaud a fish for swimming. You're hilarious. I mean, this is what you do. This is what you do, Big Perk. This is what you do. The king of one. I don't even try to challenge you with the one-liners. It's absolutely hilarious, okay? Let me get back to James Harden. You're absolutely right with what you said about Ty Lue, because Ty Lue, listen, he's being the coach, the great coach that he is. After losing 6 straight, they've won 5 of their last 7 in that span. James Harden has shot 41% from threes. He's averaged 7.6 assists. He's in the starting lineup. There's a couple of things that we have to bring into play, though. Number one, James Harden, no one is looking for him to be the prolific scorer that he once was. We know he can be, but at what price? And so it's nice to see him do what he did last night. You dropped 26. Kawhi's got 34. Paul George had 19. It's really, really nice to see. But we don't give a damn what James Harden does during the regular season anymore. Nah, that ain't what this is about. This is about the postseason. This is one of the greatest offensive players this game has ever seen. And he went to 1 NBA Finals, and that's when he was a reserve behind Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant in OKC. Ever since then, you ain't been back to a finals. In the midst of all of that, spanning more than a decade, in the midst of all of that, there are not one, but several instances where people have looked at James Harden and said, did he quit? Has he given it all? Was he giving it all he could? So that's a blemish. Now you're in LA. And by the way, you're bringing up Kawhi Leonard playing all the games. I don't give a damn. Be ready to come playoff time. Be ready to come playoff time, Kawhi. And try to call me when Kawhi Leonard plays 65 games, okay? And he's still ready for the playoffs, all right? Until then, there's still time to miss about 20, 25 games for that brother. I'm not sold, okay? I know it's great, but I'm talking about availability, okay? We'll see. With James Harden, here's the biggest thing, Perk. I don't like the effect it's had on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook played 19 minutes last night. Russell Westbrook had single digits. Everybody forgetting how Russell Westbrook was playing before James Harden arrived. Russell Westbrook was balling. And the Clippers were winning at the start of the season, okay, before they went on that 6-game losing streak. Russell Westbrook was out there as an Energizer bunny with the ball in his hands, making things happen, averaging better than 15 points a game, being aggressive, pushing the pace, etc. James Harden comes in there. I'm saying to you, in terms of motor, assertiveness, aggressiveness, Big Perk, who you trust come playoff time?
Leadership.
Who you trust come playoff time? I'm here to tell y'all I'm going to trust Russell Westbrook. When I'm talking about somebody that's going to give it to me, whatever they got, Russell Westbrook can't shoot like James Harden. I got that. But defending, remember times last year, late in the season, and particularly in the postseason, you watched Russell Westbrook defend? Let me tell you something right now. We got to get a brother props now, because we certainly gave him his hits when he was with the Lakers. But what this brother has done since he became a Clipper, I can't applaud him enough. And I don't like how James Harden's arrival has sort of diminished the impact that Russell Westbrook was providing. I hope Ty Lue figures out a way to make that happen, make it both happen. James Harden doing what he did last night, but Russell Westbrook still doing what he's capable of doing.
Well, here's another thing, right? And look, again, we getting this energy from Ty Lue, and I get it. This was, quote unquote, a signature win last night for the Clippers. You want your guys to feel good, the confidence. But let me remind the people, and let me remind you, Stephen A. and Molly, what happened to them the game before, when there was no Jokic, no Gordon, no Murray, and Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan went into the Staples Center, Crypto.com arena and looked like Kobe and Shaq. DeAndre Jordan had 21 and 16, I believe it was. Reggie Jackson had 35. And you know what I saw? I saw Michael Malone, Trust Reggie Jackson with the ball in his hands. And when James Harden was on the floor, they were searching him out. I could pull up 5 or 6 defensive clips where James Harden was on the ball, and you could be like, "Damn, bro, you're not even gonna try." And at the end of the day, in order to get through a stacked Western Conference, if the Clippers was to match up with the Sacramento Kings right now in the 7-game series, the Kings will win 4-1. And here's why I would say that. De'Aaron Fox had 40 last night.
40.
Again, they were coming off
Second of a back-to-back.
40. My point exactly. So my thing is this. I'm not overreacting, and I'm not about to sit up here and give praises to James Harden right now. He will be judged in the postseason if they make the postseason.
Well, they will make the postseason. I firmly believe they will make the postseason, but we're going to find out.